Bernstein Show. Here's Ed.
When you talk about restaurant institutions in Las Vegas, well, one really stands out, and that's Ferraro's. Now, Ferraro's has been around, well, I don't know, 10, 20, 30, close to 40 years?
39 years.
40 years. With me, Mimmo and Gino Ferraro. The first thing I need to ask you guys, because I grew up in the restaurant business with my father. And I remember having to go in the morning and slice onions at 6 o'clock in the morning as tears were rolling down my eyes. And I said to myself, I'm going to law school. So how is it, what's it like working father and son all these years?
Mimmo.
It's good. It works because we have different personalities. They kind of feed off of each other instead of kind of, don't get me wrong, we have our battles occasionally, but he's got a lot of experience. He still has a lot to teach. I'm still willing to learn, although sometimes I think my way is right. That's where we have our conflicts. But overall, it's been great. It's a tough business. I grew up in the business, 40 years. So grew up in it, falling in love with it, found myself in school, even going to university next door, and thinking about the business or menu ideas or restaurant layouts, and just turned into a passion.
Yeah, and you kind of grew up in the business as well. At least the food, the cooking business, right?
Yeah.
With your mother in Italy?
Yeah, well, my mother was very involved with us. I had a bar in upstate New York for 6 years before I moved here. A bar you find in every corner in Italy, with coffee, espresso, cappuccino, sandwich and all that. And I moved here in 76 in Las Vegas from upstate New York.
So when you think about your childhood in Italy, and then the restaurant you had in upstate New York, and you look at what's happening now, how has the industry changed?
It's more competitive. There's a lot of restaurants, but we have a brand that we were the pioneer of Italian fine dining in Vegas. My vision was to always have a great wine list, which we achieved that by having the number one Italian wine selection in the country, in top 20 in the world. So I had a vision years ago, 30-some years ago, to have a great restaurant, you need a great wine list and a great chef. And I have a great chef, and we have a great list.
How did Mimmo become a great chef?
Well, he went to school. He graduated from San Francisco CCA or CIA? CCA. And then I sent him to Italy. I brought him there for 6 months in my favorite restaurant in Montepulciano, La Grotta. And I said, work here for 6 months so you get the flair of Italian flair that we need to be a good chef,
And it seems like Italy is famous for its food, I feel, because of all the fresh ingredients that they put into their food. Whether it be tomatoes or olives, everything is just so incredibly fresh. Not easy to get those kind of fresh ingredients here in the desert. Right? It's different.
We do. We get them. We get them seasonal for different parts of the world they come in from. Whether it's from Mexico or California. But we get fresh ingredients here. Meats and seafood from Europe. We do all that.
Yeah. It's a little bit more of a challenge to get
of course.
And walking down the street and picking it off a tree, right?
Yeah, definitely.
You've won. You talked about your wine cellar. You've won prestigious awards worldwide for the caliber of your wine cellar. How does that work? How does when you get an award, how do they even know that what you have here in Las Vegas?
Well, I'm sure it's word of mouth mostly. We have a lot of producers that come from wine producers that come from Italy, and they talk amongst each other, and they send one of the representatives here from Gambero Rosso, which is the governing body of Italian wines and food. They give awards out to restaurants that warrant. We last year received 3 bottles, which is the highest award you can get for wine worldwide. and the food, Tre Forchette, 2 years ago for the food. So we, or it's a vice versa?
The opposite, yeah.
It's vice
so
versa.
First for the wine, then for the food.
And there's only so many of those given out, right? There's like 8 in the world or something?
We were one of 20 for the wine list and one of 33 in the world for the food.
So if I were to come here and have dinner, what wine would you recommend moderately priced?
Well, we have so many. Mostly 80% of the wines are from Italy. So I would, depends on what you eat, and I would pair with whatever you eating. We'd try to pair with Barolo, Barbaresco, Brunello. There's so many I can't. It's all up to what even what you're eating, and then we'd like to recommend always Italian wines.
And having said that, your wines, you have a special on the weekends here for locals with the price, half-price bottles of wine?
Yeah, you can select out of 175 wines, priced from anywhere from $60 to $1,000, and you pay 50% weekends for the locals.
Not a bad deal.
It's a great deal, I'm kidding. That's every Friday and Saturday?
Yes.
Yeah. And what would you recommend, Mimmo, what would you recommend if I was tourists coming here from out of town, somebody said, hey, you got to go to Ferraro's for dinner, what should I order?
The best way to experience a restaurant is to leave it in our hands. So I talk to a lot of tables throughout the night where I see them perusing the menu. I'll go over, ask them if they have any questions, and they ask that question, what do you recommend? And the recommendation is always to close the menu, let me feed you, based on their likes and dislikes. This way you'll get to try many things throughout the evening instead of just having an appetizer and entree. Get a little tasting of our best. And that's when you really get to be introduced and experience Ferraro's for the reasons we've been in business for almost 40 years.
I want to talk a little bit about the history you've had here because it's unbelievable. You and I came here same year. It's almost 50 years, right?
Yeah, 76, 49 years.
Yeah, long time. Yeah. I remember, although I didn't eat at your restaurant on Sahara, but I did multiple times on Flamingo. You had this kind of a little restaurant, a little more of a deli type of thing on Sahara. But then you moved to a full-service restaurant, West Flamingo. Right?
Yes.
And I remember at the time, because you're correct, you were the leader in Italian food. There was really no options. Either you went to one of the hotels and you had this, quasi-Italian meal, or you'd go to Ferraro's on West Flamingo.
It was a very hot spot.
Was it risky for you at the time to do that?
No,
it was probably a lot of money.
We actually wanted to move closer to the Strip because we thought that conventions and visitors they come from all over the world. We capture some of them, and we did. We have our business is driven by mostly conventions, especially here at this location. We get a lot of convention business, and we love locals. That's why we try to do promotions for locals. We have the Amante Club that you fill out and you'll be part of our database, and you receive 10% off every time you come to a restaurant, the total check. We do half off on wines weekends. We've always been a leader in our industry for the locals, especially locals. We donate a lot of money to a lot of charities here in town, including UNLV. We give UNLV since we've been here, hundreds of thousands of dollars, a lot of money. So we give back to the community. We always have.
Right. So you opened up on West Flamingo. Highly successful, if I recall. Were you satisfied with the? And you were successful, right? But in spite of that, you decided to move down here to on Paradise Road, across the street from what used to be the Hard Rock, which is now the Virgin Hotel. Why?
Because it was a tough 2 years. In 2008, 2009, I saw the decline in the business there. So we had to make a move. We knew that cabs didn't like to bring people there because they didn't want to. We called them, they never showed up. So we had a lot of patrons very upset because they couldn't get back to the Strip. So
this is before Uber.
Yes, yes. So in 2008 and 2009, I decided that this place became available, and I knew that if I moved here, my life would change, and it did. We tripled our business here, and it's every year it gets better and better.
And Mimmo, you came back from school, with all these incredible skills, and from Italy, and having learned the business.
Sure.
I guess things are going well for a while, but then you've also have experienced a lot of setbacks in Las Vegas, whether it be recessions, whether it be COVID. We've had our ups and downs here. Not easy for the restaurant business, right? I mean, you don't really learn those things in school.
No, definitely not.
Right? You have to. So how do you handle that?
Well, COVID was a tough time. I mean, even the recession was very tough, and that's probably was the scariest time when we were moving from Flamingo to this location. But you tighten your belt, you work hard, you sacrifice yourself and the family to do the work and show up and be consistent. And if anything was taught throughout the years, was consistency and being present. So doing that, and we fight through. And thanks to our locals and even the tourists that have supported us over the years, when they have the opportunity, they gave back.
Yeah, there's only a handful of restaurants that I know of that have been open and as consistent and as popular as Ferraro's in Las Vegas. I mean, very few.
Well, that's when you have 40 million people a year coming to Vegas and they're staying on the Strip. You have to be better. You have to be consistent. You have to give good service and provide a beautiful ambiance and provide consistent food, because people have to leave the comfort of where they are to get to you and to get back. So, it's being present and being consistent.
So has the nature of the food changed over the years? I mean, you have to make changes within the menu to serve what's popular today, which may not have been popular 10 years ago?
We tried to always elevate. That's always been the plan from when we were on Sahara and Jones to when we went to Flamingo and Jones and elevated and came here and continued that journey to, we come in with the plan of how we can improve the service, improve the menu, improve the decor. So, I'm always studying, looking at different trends, seeing what they're doing in Italy these days, new plating presentations, new ingredients. And, we still try to stay very authentic, very true to our roots. We're not an Americanized Italian restaurant. We are truly authentic, which there's nothing wrong with an Italian-American restaurant, which 9 out of 10 Italian restaurants in this town are, but authenticity, I think it stops here.
One of the things that always impressed me about Ferraro's is that you can have a very intimate dinner here, husband and wife, very romantic dinner, or you can have a room with 60 people having dinner, and the meal will always be consistent. That's very difficult to accomplish, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do it every night.
You do it every night.
We do it every night.
You mix in the convention
we have parties
business.
of 50, 40 every single night. And we give them a great menu. We don't pre-cook. We make everything to order. It's hot, it's fresh, and it's great.
Come watch the show next Friday. We have a party of 190 and a party of 60.
There were 190 at one time?
And 60.
So how many, does that leave room for anybody else?
No, we're pretty much committed that night. But with the patio, which is fantastic, beautiful time of the year right now, smoke a cigar by the fire pit. With that, we seat about 340 people. So a big restaurant.
I want to talk to you guys about pizza. What is the secret to pizza? Is it the oven?
The flour, the sauce, the tomato sauce, and the cheese you put on it. I will name I don't know if I should name it, but we use the same 3 ingredients since we opened the restaurant. Almost 40 years, we have never changed those 3 ingredients. And we will never change those 3 ingredients.
It's a staple for you.
Yes.
What is your favorite dish, Gino?
Very simple. I'm a very simple eater. I like pasta pomodoro, just fresh tomatoes, a little bit of olive oil, basil, and a touch of garlic. When I say a touch of garlic, I mean 1 clove of garlic. Garlic in this country is way, way overused. I can smell people that eat garlic from across the street. I know when people go to what restaurant they go to, you've been over there. How do you know? Because I can smell it in your breath. So we believe Italian food is simple. Simple. I just got back from Italy. I go to Italy 2-3 times a year, and I eat in the best restaurants there. You never, ever see or taste garlic there. You've been there. You know that.
Yes.
So a lot of people are ignorant when it comes to authentic Italian food. We believe that the ingredients should do the talking, not the garlic, not the oregano.
Simplicity.
Simplicity is the best. My best this year is pasta pomodoro. Whatever kind of pasta, but tomato sauce. Mm-hmm. I don't like a lot of stuff. I'm a simple eater.
See, I sit there and watch Stanley Tucci on CNN and take notes.
Yes.
So, I need to get to this province and this restaurant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's also available there. Yeah.
Absolutely. I actually learned about a dish watching that show, that pasta alla Nerano with the zucchini. And I put that on our summer menu, and it was a huge hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever romanticize about having a restaurant like that in Italy?
No, not in Italy. Things are different there. You know, the tech structure and work practice is totally different than here. You know, we don't want to get into politics, but it's difficult over there to own a business.
How about, have you guys given any thought to expanding, opening up other restaurants in other cities?
We always talk about it, you know, but to replicate what we do here is the challenge, you know, because of our presence here and how involved we are. You know, we don't want to tarnish our brand or our name by doing something outside of the city, you know, where we can't really have our thumb on it, you know, on the pulse and be present. And, you know, when you have Ferraros and there's not a Ferraro present, it's not the same. You know, if the right opportunity presents itself here in Vegas, you know, we can be involved and present, then yes. But outside of the city, not Ferraros.
We have the holidays coming up, and I know when holidays occur, offices get very big on office parties and lunches and dinners. It's a busy time of the year for you?
Very busy. You know, we have a lot of private rooms where we can offer, you know, great menus to choose from. We have a room that, you know, can sit from 8 people to a room that can sit 65, and then, like I mentioned, we have a party of 190 that's taken the majority of the main dining room and the front of the restaurant. So a lot of accommodations. Again, great wine selections, great menus that, you know, we can accommodate to, you know, all different price ranges. So definitely, you know, December with the rodeo, which we absolutely love. It's 10 days of tremendous business with it being right next door. And then the second half of the month, holiday parties, is looking forward to December.
Yeah. Is F1 an issue for you guys? I mean, there's a lot of businesses had complained about it.
Big time.
Huge.
Yeah.
Big time.
Customers had difficulty getting here?
Yeah, and not only getting here, going back to the hotels. We can't the cabs will not come when you call them because they don't want to go on the strip. They get stuck there. Ubers, you call them, when you say, we go to Caesars or Bellagio, they don't come. So we have a problem with people that come from the strip to get transportation.
After being here for so many years and being such an institution in Las Vegas, I know that you have celebrities visiting the restaurant. Who are some of the celebrities you can talk about that have been here?
You have a better memory.
You know, a lot of athletes, especially now with you know, all the professional teams in town. So we've seen a lot of the Golden Knight players, the Raiders players. You know, going back to you know, my childhood, you know, 90210, Jason Priestley was in here Monday for lunch. He has his own wine now, so he was in here, you know, tasting us on some of that. We've had a lot of celebrities from musicians when we have all these plays, all the concerts here. Some of the crew from the Eagles were just in a couple weeks ago. We've seen a lot over the years.
Julia Roberts, Anthony Quinn. I think the most Anthony Quinn was possessed an aura. When he walked in, you know. But he used to come to us. He wouldn't eat anywhere else but Ferraro's. Anthony Quinn. Julia Roberts was here. Brad Pitt was here. I mean, when they filmed the Ocean 11,
Right.
that they crew, they used to come to us all the time. Julia Roberts loved gnocchi pomodoro or bolognese, both. And I would try to change it to eat something different. I love your gnocchi and don't change them.
Shaq comes in, you know.
Shaq
he's a
comes
nice
in a
guy.
lot.
He's a mountain, nice man. Yeah, I mean, many over the years.
A lot of restaurants in town have had great difficulty post-COVID in getting employees to work. Now, I've been here at various times and see a lot of the same people from, 10, 20 years ago. What's the key in the restaurant business to keeping good employees?
Respect them, pay them well. And respect is one of we treat them like family here. We have people that have been with us 25 years, 30 years. We give them bonuses. If they work hard, at the end of the night, I'll go and give them a bonus the same night. We're very lenient and give them time off if they need a time off for the family. We respect them. Period. And they do well. And they do well here. We pay well. The waiters do well because we're busy all the time. We're never slow. I mean, very, very seldom get a slow night here.
Any dishes you'd like to talk about, Mimmo?
Ooh, so many. We just started a new menu maybe about 3 weeks ago, kind of getting into the fall and winter menus, so a little heartier. We are doing a few of those dishes on our YouTube channel that we just started as well. So our lombata milanese has been, very well received. A little burrata and some prosciutto on top. One of our most popular dishes is our pappardelle Mimmo. He named it. I created it. But, lobster, scallops, asparagus, and a butter sage truffle sauce. We're always doing homemade ravioli. We do a different, featured ravioli, every week. From rabbit ravioli to wild boar. Right now doing butternut squash. Always very, very well received. But a lot of, imported products from Italy that, are really, truly authentic. Our prosciuttos and buffalo mozzarella. So, again, the best way to experience a restaurant is to close the menu and let us show you what we do.
You mentioned social media.
Yeah.
I can't go to a restaurant without my wife taking a photograph of the food. I mean, that's such a common. When I was asking you earlier, what's the difference between over the last 30 or 40 years? And it occurs to me, that is a big difference.
Huge.
Right? I mean, there was a time when you'd walk into a restaurant, somebody would take a photograph of you. Wait, what are you doing? Right? Now I assume you're encouraging it. Right?
The more likes, the more posts, the more shares. Absolutely. It spreads the word globally.
What's going on the YouTube channel?
We do a skit called Behind the Counter with Chef Mimmo. And, we'll do 2 or 3 dishes that, were featured. Started off our first episode with some of our classics, like our vitello piccata, that's been on the menu forever, to a newer dish that we just put on the menu about 3 weeks ago, a campanelle with sausage and rapini.
I hope you're watching and taking notes because this is going to go fast. Welcome to Ferraro's. I am Executive Chef Mimmo Ferraro, and this is day 1 of Behind the Counter with Chef Mimmo. Since today is our first go at this, we're sticking to some classics that have been on our menu for a long time, even before I was in the kitchen, and a new dish, pappardelle Mimmo, that I put on the menu about 24 years ago that is still one of our top-selling dishes at the restaurant. So we'll start off with the vitello piccata.
So we just kind of get intimate with, the kitchen and me in the kitchen actually preparing the items, going to the, behind the counter and talking about it, doing a wine pairing, what I would suggest as a wine pairing with the dish. And it's been great. We've had people that come in and try to order both of the dishes in one sitting. The guy who wanted the veal piccata and the pappardelle Mimmo that one night. Yeah. And you talked him out of it.
Too much food? Give me one restaurant in Italy that I need to go to next year.
Well, I was just there. I just got back, and my best meal there, believe it or not, was at a culinary school it's been there it's number 1 in Italy. It's called Alma. They made a lunch for us, there were 8 of us, that was incredible. But there's a lot of great restaurants. In Siena, there's a restaurant called Trattoria Nonna Gina. You need to go there. It is incredible food. There's a lot of great restaurants there.
And how about when you leave Las Vegas, New York? Where would you go in New York?
In New York. I haven't been in New York in years.
Okay, that answers that.
I've been to Il Cortile, I've been to Tony May used to have a restaurant San Domenico there that I've been there. Tony May is no longer with us. We were very close friends. But I haven't been in New York for years. We have great food here. Why go to New York?
for the shopping.
I love when people come in, I'm from New York.
Uh-huh.
What do you mean you're from New York? Does it mean that everything in New York is tops? Italy does a pretty good job with Italian food.
Oh, no question. even the mediocre restaurant is delicious there. Yeah. It's unbelievable. And have you always wanted to be in the restaurant business? I mean, I know you grew up in it, but...
Yes. There was a short period where I was thinking about becoming an architect. I actually went and staged with Joel Bergman,
right.
Back in the day. He was a good man. But, my passion was always here. When you grow up in it and you are involved in every aspect of it growing up, it's hard to leave it behind.
Well, you guys have seen it all. I'm enjoying, we were talking before we went on the camera about, some of the old guys in town that are no longer here, Joel being one of them, right? It's nice to be able to talk to somebody who's been here so long and has lived through all the transitions of Las Vegas, understand how Las Vegas was built, understand where Las Vegas is going, and has survived and flourished through all of it to have this incredible... You must be very proud of yourselves.
Absolutely.
We are. We've been here 39 years, and we're not slowing down. We're getting better. We're getting busier, and our food is consistent as it can be. And that's important in any restaurant.
And you're able to at least keep the prices moderate in spite of
everything. We need
everything,
to because, we have to, because on the Strip, you go on the Strip, you pay a ton of money. So for people to come to us and get in a cab, and you have to give them value, you have to give them a great meal for them to repeat.
Quality.
Well, thank you, Mimmo. Thank you, Gino. If you haven't been recently to Ferraro's restaurant on Paradise, right across the street from the Virgin Hotel, it's an institution. You'll be treated like family, I promise you. Take care. We'll see you next week.